Hi, this is Blake Bettner, Managing Editor of Worn & Wound. Welcome to a first look at a trio of new divers from Seiko, the SPB317, the SPB315, and the SPB313. If you've been paying attention to Seiko and Seiko divers in particular over the past year and a half, you found a lot to love. We've had a re-edition of the 62 Mas in our beloved SPB 149, 145, 143, as well as a reissue of the Willard 6105-8110. Now, these new watches, the 313, the 315, and the 317, are a reissue of the 6105-8000. And this is a case that finds itself in kind of a happy medium between the skin diver 62 Mas style case and the flatter, broader Willard style case. So these new SPBs are a re-edition of that 6105-8000. They've got the slightly thinner case, meaning the diameter is 41 millimeters and the lug to lug is just under 47 millimeters. These are a bit thinner at just over 12 millimeters in thickness, so they sit beautifully on the wrist. Visually, on the dial, it's a very close match to the original 6105-8000. The placement of the date window. On the original, the date window was a framed aperture at the 3 o'clock position, and on these new models, the date has migrated down to the 4:30 position, the not controversial ever 4:30 date position, and it's a circular aperture here. It is a color match to the dial, which is a nice detail. However, at a glance, it does read as a dateless watch, which I kind of enjoy. Now again, the case is beautifully proportioned. It kind of finds itself in that happy medium point between the skin diver, the 62 Mas, and the flatter, broader Willard style case. One detail that I particularly enjoy about this watch is the crown. So this is, as you'd expect, placed at the 4 o'clock position. However, there's just enough material of the crown sticking up both above and below the crown guard component of the case that it's very easy to manipulate with your fingers. Now this comes in 3 different colorways. The reference that I'm holding here is the SPB317. This is the black dial with white accents. This one exclusively comes on this rubber strap, and this one is priced at $900. The other two come on a bracelet and are priced at $1,100. This example that I'm looking at here is the SPB315. This has a black dial and bezel with gilt accents. And finally, we have the white dial with black accents. This is the SPB313. Now, the hands and the hour surrounds have kind of a black polish to them, so there's lots of pop and contrast to this dial. It's very legible. All 3 of these watches use the same 6R35 automatic movement that we've seen in many of the other popular Prospex divers over the past year and a half. It's not known as an accurate movement, but it's a workhorse and I haven't had any issues in my experience using it. One thing I particularly enjoy about these watches is the shape of the case. It's hard to pick up in pictures, but it's very svelte, and it finds that perfect point between the SPB143 and the SPB153, which is a much broader, heavy-shouldered case here, whereas compared to the SPB149, it still has a bit of roundness to it, and there's a lot of great character there. On wrist, these wear beautifully. The slim case nestles into the wrist very flatly, and you've got a lot of range of movement in your wrist before you even notice it. Now, the bracelets are bracelets, nothing to write home about probably, but if you're a bracelet person, you might enjoy these. They do have a dive extension built into the case and a little more discreetly than they have in the past. I particularly enjoy the rubber strap on the SPB317 as seen here. It's soft, it's supple, it's not sticky. It's a great option for these watches, and I think all of them would take it exceptionally well. So if the SPB 149, 143, 145, and the modern Willard has not quite been in your wheelhouse, I definitely recommend checking out these 3 divers. They've got the same movement, the same build quality, and they wear a little bit easier on the wrist than either of those references will. This has been a first look at the SPB 313, 315, and 317. We'll have much more on these watches coming to Worn & Wound soon. In the meantime, please be sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy this content. It helps us out a lot. Until next time, take care.